Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I am your host, Mary Ellen. This is a demonstration video. It's a repeat of one that I've already done, and I can't find the one I've already done, so I'm going to do this one again. So what we are demonstrating is the ever popular and challenging sometimes CROP-A-DILE. Boarding house reach. Just bringing my iPad over. So if you Google a CROP-A-DILE instruction sheet, you will get that image. And that image is really important to have to decode some of the CROP-A-DILE. It's given to you in the packaging. I keep a lot of my packaging, so it is essentially a copy of this. And if you don't have it, you can also get it online. You can also look for, I mean, there's a million other people who have Googled CROP-A-DILE on YouTube, and you'll get a bunch of videos as well. But let's do this, my version. So first things first, here is the CROP-A-DILE. And there is a lot going on a CROP-A-DILE. And it's worth, I think, having a little bit of an engineering tour so you can see all of the working bits. So first bit is this little thing here. They have done a really good job of embossing images, but when you look at it from afar, it just looks like it's silver steel and bolts and so on and so forth. So this is a lock, which allows you to do that. And then it's locked into a smaller position. I never lock it, but some people want to put it into storage or have it slightly smaller. Fair enough. So that's the lock. And you keep it open like that. Let's make a list maybe of things that we have here. So there's a lock. Okay. There's two sides. There's this side and this side, and you can see where can you see? You can see it somewhere. Hang on. There. Okay. On the black bit there, you can see 3/16, and on the other side, you can see 1/8. And 1/8 of an inch is smaller than 3/16. So there is a large hole and a small hole. And what I do is I mark the S, and this needs a little bit of a re-up, an L, and I'm just going to, like I say, re-up the S so that I can pay it, so I can easily figure out which is the large and which is the small. And so this will, when you when you close it, you can see the posts come out, and the sort of the ends come up through here. So that's how that works. This little bit here moves, and this allows you to have a consistent, and so there is a measurement here, centimeters and inches, that allows you to have a consistent depth. So the paper is going to hit wherever you have, and you want to do another one somewhere a little along, and you want to do it somewhere a little along again, and they are all going to be the same distance apart because you are using the back. I typically don't do anything with that, and you can move it back and forth. It's sometimes a little fiddly, but this whole machine is a little fiddly. Okay, so we've got that. We've got our holes made. We have two different sizes. We have the anchor, and you can see the centimeters and also inches. So you wanted to set it at 1/2 inch or a full inch or a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch. You do you, boo. So we've got a holes punch. the hole punch, and then we have the depth setting. Let's call it that. And then that also comes with metric and imperial measurement. Okay, so we've got the lock, the two sides, making the holes, creating them consistent, and then we get into this, which might be the more complex business end of the CROP-A-DILE, and there is a lot going on here. So, what do I want to say first? Gotta look at the English. So, here are common settings in terms of eyelets, the two sizes, flat embellishments, and eyelet washers. So you can have an eyelet that is just one bit. You can have an eyelet which is 2 bits. So you'll have like a large ring and then a small ring. And then you can have that in 1/8, which is small. And you could have 3/16. So you have 4 choices, essentially. You have this is almost like a grommet versus an eyelet. And when you buy packages, you will be able to buy packages and they will tell you the size. That one doesn't tell me the size. Does this tell me the size? No, you might be, that's not a grommet. That's not a grommet. Theoretically, it should be telling you the size of the grommet. Which, if you are super confused, don't buy any grommets that don't have the size. But I think these are probably going to be 1/8, just because I've been playing around with them long enough to be able to sort of eyeball it. But if you're confused, don't buy eyelets unless you can say, oh, this is a 3/16 or this is a 1/8, and it will hopefully have it somewhere on the packaging, because that's just silly to not. Might have had it in the store as well, as in the display is here and then it doesn't have it on the packaging. I would make sure that if that's your case, write down on the box, this is 1/16 or 3/16 or 1/8. So we have our options for the grommets. Again, this is the busy work. There is actually a top and a bottom to this. So if you think about it this way, there is a top and a bottom. There is a top and a bottom. This literally doesn't look much different one to the other. However, if you look, yep, both sides, up close, you can see that there is a little top and then there's an arrow that is pointing that way. And then this here says base, B-A-S-E. So this basically is the top and that's the bottom. You flip it over, there is the top again, same image, the arrow pointing down, and then the word base. So there is a top and a bottom to this. This is the right way round. This is not the right way round. And this matters because this is the mechanics that is going to be interfacing with this grommet that has a clear top and a bottom to it. So I think one of the major difficulties with CROP-A-DILE is you need to have this whole thing in the right orientation. I need to wipe my nose because my nose is running. So we have a top, we have a bottom. Now this is where this sheet is really important, and it has what they call the cube chart. So on the top and the bottom, there are these little cubes you can pop up and you can move around. There are super itty bitty teeny tiny numbers on the bottom. And there's another one, so that's a 1. You flip it over this way. That's a 2. Put that back in. Pop this out. Burp. And you can see that's the letter D. You can move that over, and you can see that's the letter C. So there is a combination of, so let's recap here. So punch has a top, which looks like this, and a bottom, which is called base. The top has letter cubes. The bottom has number cubes. So you need a variety because at least you're going to have 2 different sizes, and you're going to have 2 different top and bottom types. So this is going to be a little bit thicker. There's going to be a bottom that you're going to have to deal with. This is going to maybe a little bit shorter and won't have a bottom. So matching this all up with the right letter and number cube combination, super important. And this is what this CROP-A-DILE sheet here is telling you. So if you have a 1/8 eyelet, so we're going to have a 1/8 eyelet, so we're going to be punching something like that. You need a C on top and a 3 on the bottom. If you have a 3/6, so they call this eyelet and washer. This is called a washer in their world. So you have a top and a bottom. You're going to do an A and a 2. So this setting is the business end of getting a good, not punch, but a fixing of the actual eyelet. So this is another place where this can go horribly wrong. So you need to know 2 things. You need to know that there is a top and a bottom, and that your cube settings are matching what you are putting in, and that what you are putting in is matching the size of hole that you've originally punched. Like I say, there is a lot of stuff going on in a CROP-A-DILE. So let us, for grins and giggles, I want to do, because I usually use 1/8 of an inch eyelet, which I think is this. And I label this top because this swings out this way. And if you're swinging it out and you're upside down, all of these dump out. Ask me how I know. So there we are. Okay, piece of cardboard. Okay, so we want to do a small one. We want to do a small eyelet. So step 1, boop, we've got our hole. Okay, got our hole, got our eyelet, and the eyelet even has a top and a bottom. So the, this is really hard to show. The top is got the lip to it, and the bottom is just the flat piece. Oops. So we pop that in, okay, and we're all ready to go there. Now we've got to do this whole setup thing. So top for a 1/8 eyelet is a C. So I need to make sure that this piece here has the letter C on it, and I got to get it right up close. So this square here is the C. C, and then I need number 3. Okay, and that's number 3. And so they're locked in. This is the top, and then this is how it should be crunched. If I do it this way, I'm gonna crush the metal because it is just strong enough, but these are different shapes. One is a pin and one is kind of like a post that you can, or like a mound that you could, that this post hits into. So we'll do top and bottom. Carefully get it in. And there, we got her in. So this sometimes is a bit rough, so that I can feel that. It's CROP-A-DILE. It's not a highly it is not engineered for precision manufacturing. And I will just hammer something down. If I had pliers, I might just do a nice little squeeze, and that's much better. And now I have a grommet. So to recap, if you don't have this sheet of paper, you can Google CROP-A-DILE instructions on the internet and you can get this image. So you need to have this sheet of paper. Why? Because you need to have this cube chart. And there's also other information that if you want to read the information, you can sort of get some of this sorted out. This is how to replace the cubes, sort of how to move them around. These are the common settings, and then here is sort of the size and type of eyelet that you're going to be putting in. So super important. You need this as a decoder. And then let's go quickly through what we have here. So we have a lock that you may or may not use. You'll have a small, which is the 1 1/8 inch hole punch mechanism. You have the 3/16 hole punch mechanism. You have the depth settings, which are these little things here that can move up and down that allow you to have a consistent depth. If you're punching holes in different things, you want to have some kind of consistency. Then when we go up to here, which is the business end, there is a top, which looks like that. And then the bottom says base. It says that on both sides. And then there is 2 cubes that you can adjust. And the top has got the letters, the bottom has got the numbers. And this is where the translation, super important, because you need to translate these letters into this depending on what it is that you're punching. So there's 2 sizes. There's eyelets, and then there's eyelets with a washer. So there's a paired pieces as opposed to single pieces. Those 4 options, really important to know. You set this based on what you want to punch, and then when you're ready to punch, make sure that your top is on top and your base is on bottom. I put a small little T on here with a piece of washi so that I know that it's like, oh, I have it upside down. So feel free to do little modifications to your piece of equipment so that you as the user are able to cope with it. Anyways, that I think is the CROP-A-DILE. Hope that helps. If it doesn't, Google CROP-A-DILE on the internet for pieces of paper written instruction, and also I'm sure there's a million people who have done the tour of the CROP-A-DILE on YouTube. Thanks so much. That's all for now. Bye now.